Hi everyone, welcome back to the Indoor Garden Series. Today I'm going to show you how to grow microgreens all the way from seed to harvest and everything in between. Now if you're already shutting down your outdoor winter garden because it's too cold outside, you're going to absolutely love growing some very simple crops indoors. And microgreens are by far one of the easiest things you can grow inside. They go from seed to harvest in about 7 to 10 days, so you're going to be eating some fresh, tasty food very soon, and you're going to love how easy they are. The best thing about microgreens, especially if you're just starting out, is grow lights are optional. So you can grow them in a sunny window, or you can also grow them under grow lights if you want to. So let's get started. I'm going to show you how easy it is. I know you're going to really enjoy growing them inside. Here's what you need to get your microgreens started. You're going to need some seeds. You're going to need some indoor soil, and you're also going to need some containers. You don't need a whole lot. So let me just talk about the seeds that you need real quick. Now microgreens, for those of you that are new to it, are tiny little greens that are harvested at about 2 to 3 inches in size. They're not grown to full size. So you can use any easy to grow, quick to grow seeds. The difference is they're sown a little bit differently and they're harvested earlier. So I've got a couple different resources on my website for you in case you need some seeds. The first one is the Indoor Garden Seed Collection. There's several varieties of microgreens in here, which will be very helpful for you. The second one is the Microgreen Seed Collection. There's lots of different varieties in here, about 10 or so you have lots of things to choose from. One of my favorites though that has everything included in it is the November Grow Your Groceries with CALIKIM'S subscription box. The theme is indoor microgreens. You've got seeds, soil, containers. It's all in there for you to help you get started. So the second thing you're going to need is some soil. Now I like to make my own indoor seed starting mix. This is made from coco coir, worm castings, and vermiculite. And it's super helpful because not only is it very, very fine, so the seeds germinate very quickly, but the worm castings, the vermister worm castings in here are very pure. They're very easy to handle and easy to spread, and it gives your plants the nutrients they need to grow some healthy microgreens for you. And I'll put a link to the video that shows exactly how to make this DIY mix. The third thing you're going to need are some containers. Now you need containers that are at least 6 inches in height. The CALIKIM 1 gallons are perfect for this. You can also use the little cow pots that come in the subscription box, or even a little deli container. Whatever container you use needs to have holes in the bottom for drainage. So once you have all these 3 supplies, you're ready to get your microgreens planted. So first we're going to plant some of the seeds from my Grow Your Groceries with CALIKIM subscription box. And the cool thing is you can combine different varieties. Here we're going to plant the colorful radish mix and the superfood mix. And I don't know about you, but I would much rather be growing my own food indoors in the wintertime than buying at the market. Do you know how expensive microgreens are at the grocery store or at an organic market? They're super expensive, but you can grow your own at home for just pennies. So I actually just combined these 2 different varieties in my hand here. So really the sky's the limit with microgreens, but look how beautiful and colorful these microgreens are. It's going to give you such a lift to be growing them inside in the wintertime. Now microgreens are sown a lot differently than other seeds. Because you're just growing them to a few inches tall, you want a nice carpet of growth. So you spread them densely and heavily here in your containers. No need to worry about spacing. That's another reason why they're super, super easy to grow. So I'm just going to spread them here in my little CALIKIM 1 gallon smart pot. And then I'm just going to very, very lightly cover them with a little pinch of my DIY seed starting mix, just to barely cover the seeds. You don't want to cover them too heavily. And they are going to germinate within 3 to 4 days. They'll be popping up. It's really going to be fun to see them grow. It's one of the beautiful things about microgreens is they grow so fast and they're so quick and easy to plant. Now if you're planting them in smaller containers like the cow pots here or the little deli containers, you plant them in exactly the same way. You just don't need as many seeds. So we've got our colorful radish and our superfoods microgreens planted, which are really going to nourish you during those cold winter months. I'm going to plant some arugula. And don't click away because at the end of the video, I'm going to be harvesting some of these microgreens and showing you how to make your own delicious microgreen salad. So here I've got some arugula, which is from the Indoor Garden Seed Collection. Arugula is one of the fastest growing greens you can plant. Absolutely love it. It's a nice, spicy, kind of zippy type of green. And here we're just quickly sprinkling down the seeds. Super, super easy. Covering them with just a little bit of soil, and literally microgreens take about 5 minutes to plant. You're gonna absolutely love it. If you've got kids, it's a great project to do with your kids. You could even give them each one of their own little 1-gallon containers. You can grab these over at CALIKIM'S The little indoor mini microgreen kit is really a fun one. It comes with the indoor seed collection, 3 of the CALIKIM 1-gallons. You can grab it for 20% off with the code Indoor Garden. So super easy to plant. We've got 2 containers of microgreens planted. After you have your microgreens planted, you definitely need to check them every day to make sure that the top of the soil doesn't dry out. You're gonna need a little spray bottle too. So all you need to do is just walk by your little microgreen containers and just mist them at least once a day, especially if the top of the soil looks brown. And this is really key to getting them to germinate quickly. Now, after they germinate, like these cow pots over here, you're gonna want to switch to bottom watering. So you grab your watering can and simply just pour some water in the bottom of the tray. And this you wanna do only when the top of the soil is a light brown color, which indicates that it's dry. So you pour some water in the bottom of the tray, which allows the containers to soak up the water from the bottom, more evenly saturating the soil, and that means you don't have to water as often. And I do recommend using little drip trays of some kind under your microgreens containers to catch the drips and to allow for easy bottom watering. Now let's have some fun with this. I want to show you microgreens at different stages of growth so you know what to expect, and it's kind of good for you to see how fast they grow, so this is going to be fun. So this first tray here of cow pots and my little blue 1-gallon container here. How old do you think these are? If you guessed a week, you are absolutely right. And you just can't believe how fast these greens grow. That's why I'm saying you've got to grow them inside. It's gonna be so much fun to harvest them very quickly. Now come on over here to my grow light shelf and let me show you another little group of microgreens. How old do you think these are? If you guessed a month, you're absolutely right. And these we've actually been harvesting off of for a month or so. So they're starting to look a little bit ragged, but you can definitely see how many microgreens you can get. And there's just 4 cow pots in here, and it provides us with little microgreen salads on a daily basis. Now, moving over here to another little container of microgreens, these I actually let grow to a little bit larger of a size. They're probably about 2 months old. I think these are red mustard greens from the Indoor Garden seed collection. They're starting to look more like actual mustard greens. So these you can still keep harvesting for salads. In fact, when you thin them out, it'll probably help them grow just a little bit larger here in the container. So go back and watch my thinning video for all the benefits on thinning out your seedlings. You have a couple different options for where you're gonna grow your microgreens after you plant them. The first being the easiest. If you don't want to get grow light set up, no problem. You can actually grow them right in a windowsill. Your kitchen windowsill is really nice next to your kitchen sink for easy access. It does need to have some indirect light like this one here, or it can be a nice sunny windowsill. Now normally I say seeds have to be really close to the light or they get leggy. But with microgreens, because you're harvesting them at about 7 to 10 days, it really doesn't matter if they get leggy. So a windowsill is fine. But I feel like they really do grow better under a grow light if you're able to get one set up. Just set up a super simple grow light like my clip light here that I absolutely love. It's just a simple clip light from a hardware store. It is a special grow light for growing seeds, and you can look at my grow light video for how to get this set up. You can either clamp it to a milk jug filled halfway with sand. I've got a PVC pipe stuck in here, or you can even clip it to the bottom of a cabinet in your kitchen. But the cool thing about this light is you can move the clip up and down to accommodate your growing plant. So as your plants grow, move it up. When they're not growing yet, you're waiting for them to germinate, you put them down very close to the container. So super simple. No matter where you want to grow them, there's a setup for you. One of the biggest problems you're going to have when you're growing microgreens or anything inside your house are the insects. Super annoying. Fungus gnats and aphids can really infest your indoor plants quickly, and there's no natural predators inside, so you really do have to stay on top of it and address it from the very beginning, right when you plant your microgreens. A couple of solutions for you. A couple of things that I love are these sticky traps. Now, fungus gnats are attracted to the color yellow. So I like to put these little sticky traps in my microgreens or in any of my indoor containers. Just put a couple of them around my indoor garden. There's actually 2 of these included in every month's Grow Your Groceries with CALIKIM'S subscription box. Super handy. The fungus gnats are attracted to them, get stuck on them, and then they aren't bothering your plants anymore. When the fungus gnats or aphids do show up, I like to pull out the big guns, and we're partnering with Bonide for this video, and the insecticidal soap is a great insect control to use indoors, approved for organic gardening. And what I like to do is spray some first off on the soil. Now, it is a direct contact spray, so it will kill bugs on contact. So I spray some right in the soil in case there's any bugs in the soil. But I also do like to spray them on the plants, especially when I see the fungus gnats or the aphids on my plants. You can spray it directly on your plants. And the cool thing about insecticidal soap is you can use it up until the day of harvest. So it's safe for that and also safe for organic gardening. I'll just spray my plants here. And that way we really are taking a 2-pronged approach to controlling the fungus gnats and the aphids inside the house. Now, you can use insecticidal soap outdoors as well, but it's safe for indoor use. I've used it for about 3 years inside. It's really my go-to, and I do like that it's specially formulated for the needs of edible crops. Now, here you can see I've got some tiny little aphids on my tiny Tim tomato, and because this kills immediately upon contact, I'm going to go ahead and spray the aphids with the insecticidal soap, just so you can see how well it works. When you actually do see bugs on your plants, this is the one to use because you really want to knock them down immediately so your indoor garden does not get infested. So you're spraying down the aphids and taking care of them right away. And again, I'm also going to spray the soil just in case we've got any bugs that fell into the soil. You can reapply once a week or so until your problem is gone, but definitely something you want to keep around your indoor garden. Now for the fun part. We're going to harvest some microgreens and a full-on salad from our indoor garden. Got our plate, got our Centurion Precision Snips. You actually get a pair of these in your November subscription box. So they make indoor harvesting really easy and fun. So first we're going to harvest from our microgreens that are about 2 months old, which are actually now becoming little salad greens. We'll just grab a handful and snip. And I like to harvest from my indoor garden as I'm going to eat it, so they're fresh the day that I'm going to enjoy the salad greens. So this will be my little base for my salad. And now I'm going to come over here to where my microgreens are growing that are about a month or so old, and harvest some of these colorful radish microgreens. I love how pretty and purple the stems are. And these are great in a salad, but they're also delicious on a cold winter day if you want to put some on top of your soup, in your scrambled eggs, in your wraps. They really are super, super versatile and easy to eat. So now we're going to head over here to my microtoms, just one more fun thing in our indoor garden. And these microtoms were from the October Grow Your Groceries with CALIKIM'S subscription box, and they're just now getting ripe. It's the cutest little about 6 to 8 inch tomato, perfect for indoor growing. Just pop a few of these on top of our salad. We have a complete salad growing in here in my indoor garden. You don't need a lot of space. So much fun growing greens, herbs, and little mini tomatoes inside. Wow, this looks so delicious. I wanted to real quick show you my favorite go-to salad dressing for my indoor garden. Super easy. You just need some olive oil, and I just sprinkle some right on top here over the top of my salad. Just a few little sprinkles is all you need. You don't want to overdo it. A little squeeze of lemon juice. It adds so much flavor, and it's so simple and so healthy. And then I like to put some fresh ground black pepper. You've got to have fresh ground. It really makes all the difference in the world. And then a little sprinkle of sunflower seeds. So the sky's the limit with this. If you love cheese, feta cheese is one of my favorites, and by all means, add whatever you like. This is super simple, and it makes it a very healthy, nutritious, power-packed lunch that's going to give you lots and lots of energy. So let's give it the taste test. So delicious. Just so yummy to eat from the indoor garden. These microgreens are so tasty. Wow, such a punch of flavor in here. The cool thing about microgreens is because they're so tiny, you get all the flavor and all the nutrition packed inside these tiny little greens, and you're going to absolutely love it just like I do. And the tomatoes, if you're not growing tomatoes inside, you really have got to. Absolutely delicious. I want to encourage you, plant your microgreens this week. You're going to be eating them in about 7 to 10 days and be so glad that you did. We've got all the resources for you over at CALIKIM'S, whether it's the November microgreens box, the indoor garden seed collection, the microgreen seed collection, it's all there for you. The Grow Your Groceries box is $7 off with the code microgreens, and the seed collections and smart pots are 20% off with the code Indoor Garden, and they all make great gifts for the holidays as well. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.